Hola, hi. So today I'm sitting underneath the roof because it's raining, but I didn't feel like being inside and doing the video, and I'm kind of praying that construction work that's going on close by isn't too noisy. Let's see. But so last Sunday, I think it was, yeah, we had our Dreamy Cappuccino Creative Gathering, and there was one thing that was really a question, I guess, that was interesting. I would like to dive a little bit deeper into, and it was that question, do you have to explain yourself? And so when we create content, and especially when we do, as creatives, for example, do you have to explain why you decided to do it this way, or for example why you are experimenting, or what is exactly the idea behind the experiment you're doing right now? And so obviously this is my personal opinion, and I'm very curious to hear what your opinion is and what your take on that is. And I think, as usual, it's not straightforward. I think it's very much a personal decision, and it depends on what you are doing and what you want to do. But in general, I think you don't have to explain anything to anyone, especially if you don't want to. When it comes to specifically creating art, I mean, if you're doing that, there's one channel I really love to listen to. It's called Pain Free You, and it's great for people who are dealing with chronic stuff. And of course he has to explain what's behind his approach, and luckily he does explain it again and again because it's really helpful. But when it's about art and creation, and if, for example, I'm doing some performance art pieces, I want people to really go beyond their analytical mind and to see what it does do to them, how they feel with it. So I don't think that it necessarily is a good thing to explain that. And at other times there might be something, where you feel like letting people in on, I guess, your thought process, and it could be like a behind the scenes thing. But I really do think it's a decision. And talking of that, I had to think of something years and years ago that was annoying though. That was when I was still studying, and we were watching a theater piece, and it was very experimental, which I actually love, but it had this weird thing. I don't know exactly anymore what it was, but it was this weird thing, where you're sitting in and you're thinking you're stupid because you're just not getting it. It was this supposed to be intellectual, but in a way so that you couldn't catch what was going on. I hate that. So don't do that. Just saying. But yes, I think, if you feel like experimenting, then experiment. And those people who want you to explain, maybe they're just, and who are not able in a way to come with you on a journey, maybe they're not the right people. So I think explaining has its place, but it can also be counterproductive. And another thing that comes to my mind is that I also have been taught, for example, when you're writing, or also writing a theater piece or writing anything, that you shouldn't sell your audience for stupid. Meaning you over explaining things instead of taking them on a journey. So I guess if the journey is more important, then we explain less. And another example I wanted to make that is not so much art and creativity related. I had a friend the other day asking me about my health, and she wanted to know how things were. And I decided to respond, listen, it's too much energy for me to keep on explaining to people what I'm going through. I just decided not to do it. And I think that's, because it's very hard for people to even understand who don't go through the same thing. So I have the choice, and I did it in a way that was nice, and I just didn't want to go there. I didn't want to do it. And so I think we have a choice about whether we want to explain things or not. Sometimes in that example, that was something for my own highest benefit. I don't want to have to go through having to explain something that is like that. Then other things maybe where I feel it makes sense to explain why I was doing something, then I will explain it. And if I feel that the most important thing is taking people on a journey, then I will make that more important and not explain it. So I hope that was helpful and made sense. But I would conclude it's your own choice. It depends on what you want to achieve with what you're sharing, and also look at who wants to have something explained to you. And maybe the people who get you don't need to have the explanation as a content creator, the people who get you as an artist, and so on and so forth. Anyways, I'd love to hear from you what you think about this. And yeah, this is Anja, Creative Rebel. May you come alive by creating freely. Take good care. Bye-bye.